What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today we are going to be doing the Fenty Eau De Perfume review, and I'm just going to be talking about some different things. One in particular is the differences between fragrance notes, and there are 3 different types of fragrance notes, so I'll go into detail about which 3 her perfume falls into the category of. So I want to give you guys a couple of little tidbits of information that were left on her website in regards to the perfume. So this is a unisex fragrance. Yeah, I had to edit that. And it comes in an amber brown bottle, and it retails for $120, and you get 2.5 fluid ounces, which equates to 75 milliliters, which is honestly not that big. I feel like for that price, normally at Macy's, I would get an Eau De Perfume, and it would run me about $100, or maybe even $120. Sometimes you can get the gift sets. And you would get about 3.5 fluid ounces, which is, you know, a decent sized bottle. You're getting a nice amount of perfume, which goes a long way, and usually my perfumes last me about a year's time. So I was a little disappointed when I first seen that, because I didn't necessarily want to spend that much money for a smaller amount of fragrance and not know that if I liked it or not. And the thing that I look forward to the most with shopping in store is that certain things are a must, and one of which is when you're getting perfumes, it's a must to buy them at a store like Macy's or Nordstrom's, where you can actually smell them. If you're in the South, it would be like a Dillard's or something like that. So you would get them, you would go in store and you would smell a perfume that maybe you potentially wanted to buy, and you would see whether or not it was something that you liked or it meshed with your pheromones. And honestly, with buying her perfume online, you don't really get to see that. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a review of the travel size bottle that I got for being a valued customer and purchasing with her from all of her different sites. I buy from her beauty, I buy from her, as you can see, my beauty stuff in the background, but I buy from Fenty Beauty, I buy from Fenty Skincare, and I also buy from Savage. So this would be another franchise that she's kind of branching off into, and I'm excited for her, but I don't know how I feel about this. So let's get into the video. So right off the bat, let's talk about packaging. You see that it has silver lettering. It has the same Fenty logo that most of her items do. It's a turquoise color, which I think is really pretty. And in this travel size, you're going to get, let's see, we're going to open it up and see what we get. So you're getting 2 milliliters, which is an average size for a travel size spray, or not even travel, but a tester size. And so I thought these were cute. You got these, well, I got them in my order, and I got 2, which I thought was cool. Right out the gate, I liked the packaging. I thought that it was really pretty. However, I don't know why she did silver lettering for her box, but did gold lettering for the actual perfume. I would have kind of kept the color tones the same. So let's get into some things about notes with perfumes, just so we right out the gate have some type of deeper understanding, so when I'm speaking, you're not really confused and you're understanding where I'm coming from. So there's 3 different types of notes, which I mentioned. There's a top/a-head note, there's a middle and a heart note, and there's a base note. And so each of these notes is like a, you know, of course it's a certain type of scent, and it has a certain fragrance included within it. So a top note is also called a head note, and it is really a small light module that evaporates quickly. So a top note would be considered any perfume that disappears quickly on your skin, doesn't last long. Basically what it says is, the scents of this note class are usually described as fresh, assertive, or sharp. And so this reminds me, a top note that I can think of would be like For example, Juicy Couture, their original perfume, that would be considered a top note in my opinion, because it has a very sharp smell and it's very particular. It's not as fruity, and top notes usually involve citrus and ginger. So a citrus could also fall in the line of Marc Jacobs Perfect. It does have like a citrusy, you know, summer breeze type smell. So that could definitely be considered a top note. And then a middle note is called the heart note, and it's a scent of perfume that emerges just before the top note dissipates. And so it's the scent that you smell when the top note is kind of wearing off, and it's a little bit of a longer lasting smell. It says, they serve to mask the often unpleasant initial impression of base notes, which become more pleasant with time. And so some perfumes, you'll spray them on and you'll notice that as you go throughout the day with your pheromones, they might smell a lot better, and you're like, ooh. And that's happened to me. I went to Macy's one time, and the YSL perfume that I really like, I had smelled it and sprayed it on myself and left the store and was like, oh, I think I'm not going to get it. And I ended up going back to the store the same night because I was like, I have to have it, because as the day progressed on, it just smelled so good with my pheromones. So that's kind of what they're talking about in terms of a middle note. And so the middle note in this respect forms the body of a perfume, and it's also, it talks about the percentage of oil that's used in the middle note, which is higher than other notes that are going to be talked about. And then we have the base note. So the base note is the scent of perfume that appears close to the departure of the middle note. So they all kind of play onto each other. We have our top note, and then we have our middle note, and then we have our base note. And these are the notes that we might smell throughout the day that the perfume embodies. So compounds of this class are often fixatives, and they're used to hold and boost the strength of the lighter top and middle notes. So it boosts kind of and gives the smell a little bit of a longer lastingness. And so one of the things that was described is consisting of large heavy molecules that evaporate slowly. So that means this note tends to carry out longer. And it has scents that are typically rich and deep, and they're usually not perceived until about 30 minutes after you have sprayed the perfume on yourself. And so I would say that a lot of perfumes are like that. So now we're going to get into Rihanna's description on her website about the Eau De Perfume. So it says, introducing Fenty Eau De Perfume, the new fragrance from Rihanna. Magnolia and musk unite with tangerine, blueberry, and hints of Bulgarian rose absolute, geranium, and patchouli to create a unique blend that expresses itself uniquely on each wearer for a one-of-a-kind scent that is all heart and pure soul. So one thing I would just out the gate say, I hate the smell of patchouli. It smells disgusting, and I know that I think it's like a remedy for bugs sometimes, but I've smelt it growing up, and the smell is very distinctive, and it's just disgusting. So right off the gate, when I seen that, I was not too keen on anything with patchouli in it. But that's just my personal experience with that in general. And so it says the inspiration is, in quotations, this isn't about a fantasy. I want to experience truth. Fenty Eau De Perfume is for remembering what's real. I made a fragrance for myself and am now sharing it with you. And I'm guessing that's Rihanna's words because they're in quotations. And it says, in regards to the creation, that what begun as a garden walk in the global center of perfume became an unapologetic expression of my full and true essence. The experience begins as soon as you lay your eyes on the bottle. This reminds me of everywhere I've been and represents all that I am. So I thought that was cute. You know, it's a cute little intro. I like the little breakdown about the perfume, and that's cute. Now we're going to get into the ingredients that are enclosed within the perfume. So it says it contains alcohol, parfum, fragrance, aqua, water, EAU, I don't know, limonene, citronello, linalool, and there's a lot of things that are unpronounceable. Cinnamon alcohol, citral, benzoyl alcohol, and eunol. And there's also CI 6730 in there, which I have no idea what any of those things are. So I'm going to be completely honest. I like my videos to be transparent. I'm just giving you guys the facts. I don't know what any of those ingredients are. So there's also a section on her website that tells you how she wears it. And it says that it's comprised exclusively of middle notes. So that's where we're getting back to our key type of notes, and we've talked about the top, the middle, and the base note. So we know that this perfume is going to fall exclusively in the middle note zone. So that means from middle note, all that it can do really is go down, which would mean that it would be either middle note or base note that you're going to be smelling when you wear this perfume. And she says it's from the heart, and it's the superfine mist radiates beautifully when applied to the center of the chest. So that's where she puts her stuff. And I always spray my perfumes there anyway because that's usually where it kind of radiates from. But I also like to spray on my wrists, behind my ears, and sometimes if I'm wearing a dress. My grandmother taught me this when I was a kid, but she used to spray perfume between her legs, and when she would walk, she said that the perfume would kind of like mist whoever was walking by her so that they can smell her scent a lot deeper. And I always thought that was cool, and so as an adult I always did that, and people always have said or commented on how, oh, you smell so good, or what are you wearing? And so I guess it works. Just to throw that in there. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, I like to be very transparent. So what I did was I wore this perfume all day just to get a better understanding of how I felt that it meshed with my pheromones. And by all means, do not take this review and decide that you don't want to purchase her fragrance or that you do want to purchase her fragrance. I am not being sponsored. This is just my honest opinion about things. And so it's no shade to Rihanna or her brand, but I'm always going to keep it real with you guys, and I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of things from my perspective because that's kind of the only way that I can do it. So I'm going to go ahead and get into what my opinion of her perfume was and get to talking to you guys a little bit more deeper about some of the notes that I normally like to wear, and really dependent on the day. But there's one thing in particular about me. I'm very keen on my scents, and if I don't really like it with my pheromones after a day, I will not purchase it, and I also will not wear it or, you know, own it because there's no purpose. Like, I like a certain particular smell, and I don't go for fragrances that are all alike, but I do go for fragrances that make me feel a certain type of way on different days. And so that is, you know, kind of my purpose of doing this video, so that you could get a better understanding of how I felt about the perfume with, you know, my pheromones. So I mentioned earlier in the video that I do not like the smell of patchouli, and so one thing that I was adamant about is that because this perfume is a middle note, the middle notes tend to have citrusy but also strong pungent smells, and patchouli can be very pungent. So initially spraying the perfume, I did not have a good reaction to the smell. I didn't think it smelled pleasant, and I was a little bit taken aback by the fact that this was the perfume that was going for $120 that sold out. And that's kind of how I knew that people kind of buy things just because of who makes it and what the name is, because I did not have an initial pleasant reaction when I first sprayed it on myself. So as the day goes on, day progressed on, I started to feel like the perfume grew on me a little bit, but not enough to where I would buy it. So that's where the problem came in. I'm super excited that I did not spend $120, and I was not like the people that kind of ran out to get the perfume. I love that she offered it to her valued customers in a travel. I love that she offered it to us in a small size so that it allowed us to see whether or not we really liked the fragrance or not. And although it is sold out, I'm not one of those people that's upset that I didn't buy it, because I did not enjoy the smell. It did give me, in a way, a reminder, because it mentions that there's magnolia in there. It does remind me somewhat, reminds me somewhat of Michael Kors perfume. And with Michael Kors perfume, you know, it would have been, it's the jasmine or the white jasmine. That one I like a lot. I have purchased it multiple times, and I like it because of the subtleness of it, but also you do get that undertone. You get that base note, and it comes with you throughout the day because it's a longer lasting smell. This does last a while, but it's not one of those perfumes where a little goes a long way. It is one of those perfumes where I could see myself having to spray a lot of the bottle to get that perfume to last and kind of carry me. And you don't necessarily want to do that, because I don't know if you've ever been in a room with a person, or you've stepped into a restaurant and their perfume or cologne is extremely strong, and it's like, oh my gosh, who is that and what are they doing? That can be very distasteful to people, and so you don't ever want to have to spray a perfume a lot, because that means that it's not really effective. And I do tend to go for base notes because they're going to last a little longer. I like perfumes that hit those base notes. I also like middle notes, and I do like top notes as well. But like I mentioned earlier in the video, it depends on what mood I am in for that day. I didn't really smell much of the tangerine. It does have a musk smell, so that is mentioned in her information, and I'm gonna just smell my wrist. I can barely smell it, and I've had it on for about 5 hours today, which is not a good thing. I like my perfumes to carry me throughout the day, and this is not one of those that I would recommend to people who are like me. However, there is somebody out there that's going to really enjoy this perfume, so definitely give this video a thumbs up. I really look forward to getting likes, because it helps me to see that the content that I'm pumping is not a waste of my time, that you guys really do enjoy it, and that you're finding it to be, you know, entertainment. Because a lot of times I sit on YouTube all day, and that's usually what I watch. I don't have cable, so if a YouTuber is not entertaining me, sometimes I can be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna watch them no more. And so the likes do help to let the YouTuber know that you're enjoying what you're watching. So please give it a like. Don't forget to smash that bell so that you know when I'm coming out with videos, if you like them. And then also subscribe. I'm at 92 subscribers right now, and as I mentioned in my previous video, I'm trying to get to 100, and I think that my Savage X Fenty unboxing haul got up to about 1,100 views, but there are not many likes on there, and I'm not getting many subscribers. So don't just watch the video, like it, comment, and subscribe on it. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next week on Shawty's World.